Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are unpacking what is arguably the most massive technological, economic, and societal shift of our entire lifetime. We're talking about that exact pivotal moment when artificial intelligence stopped being just a simple chatbot answering our trivia questions and actually transformed into an autonomous worker, executing real-world tasks. The ripple effects of this? Absolutely staggering. So, by breaking down the data, the research, and the latest industry reports, we're going to see exactly how this great AI activation is actively reshaping our world.
There is a quote that really hits the nail on the head for this whole transition, and it's that 2025 will go down in history as the year AI stopped answering and started doing. For years, we were completely mesmerized that a computer could string together a coherent paragraph or write a funny poem, right? But we've crossed a monumental threshold now. We've moved from passive text generation to active execution. The AI isn't just sitting there waiting for you to spoon-feed it every single micro-step anymore. It's actually figuring out the how all by itself.
To break this all down, we're going to hit 5 key areas. Number 1, AI starts taking action. Number 2, thinking slow, system 2. 3, the agentic workforce. 4, the hardware gold rush. And finally, number 5, 2 possible AI futures. All right, let's dive right into section 1. AI starts taking action. The foundation of an autonomous AI doesn't just happen overnight, right? It takes an absolute explosion of research. Just wrap your head around this number, 122,511. That is the staggering number of AI patents registered globally in 2023 alone. According to the Stanford AI Index report, that is a nearly 32-fold increase since 2010. It's a massive global race, with different nations just pouring resources into building models that don't just process data, but actually take initiative. And all that research led straight into a wildly different digital landscape. We started seeing AI models planning, calling tools, and running parallel workflows. Agents literally took control of web browsers and computer terminals. And then we witnessed the rise of this thing called vibe coding. It's this fascinating culture shift where a human basically just states an intention, a vibe, and the AI agent writes, edits, and tests the entire software code. We also saw models that can think by budget. This means you can literally allocate more computing power if you want the AI to think deeper about a specific problem. And while all of this is happening, generating high-quality video and low-latency voice shifted from being these cool, futuristic tech demos into just standard, everyday infrastructure.
Which brings us to section 2, thinking slow, system 2.
To understand how AI got smart enough to be trusted with these complex tasks, we have to look at the cognitive science behind it, because this shift perfectly mirrors human psychology. In cognitive science, there's the dual system theory. System 1 is your fast, intuitive gut reaction thinking. That is exactly how the early foundational language models operated. They gave us fast but kind of shallow heuristic responses, which is why they were so prone to hallucinations and bias. But now, we've fundamentally shifted to System 2 reasoning models. Just like deep human deliberate thought, these models are slower, they're incredibly methodical, and they rely on strict step-by-step logical reasoning to solve really complex problems, especially when it comes to math and coding. If you look at the evolutionary timeline of these reasoning models, heavy hitters like OpenAI's O-Series and DeepSeek's R1, we see this amazing leap. What makes them so incredibly powerful is their use of advanced search algorithms, like Monte Carlo tree search. This is tech drawn straight from game-playing AIs like AlphaGo. So before the AI even outputs a single word or takes a single action, it internally simulates multiple different logical paths. It evaluates the potential success of each one to avoid getting stuck in a dead end. It is literally planning ahead, exactly like a human expert would. And once you give an AI the ability to reason deliberately and plan ahead, you unlock Section 3, the agentic workforce. Analysts at Gartner hit the nail on the head when they identified what they call the AI agency gap. It's like a spectrum. On one side, you have our starting point, low-agency chatbots stuck in highly supervised, static environments, handling super simple tasks. But we are rapidly closing the gap toward the other side, which is high-agency adaptive systems. These aren't just bots. These are entities capable of proactive planning in complex, messy environments. They don't just react to a prompt. They learn from their surroundings and operate autonomously. So, how does this actually play out in the real business world? Well, an agentic AI doesn't just spit out a paragraph of text for you to read. It's a 3-step process. Step 1, it receives a high-level goal from you. Step 2, it autonomously analyzes all your disparate corporate data in the current digital environment. And step 3, it takes actual, tangible action in the digital world. It's sending out emails, it's altering software code, it's adjusting live marketing campaigns by directly interfacing with APIs. And the kicker? It does the whole shebang without needing a human to supervise every single click.
And let me tell you, the business world is fully on board. A recent CIO survey shows a massive 74% of executives are turning to generative AI specifically for huge productivity gains. They are not looking for a fancy toy to play with. They want to transform AI from a basic software tool into a full-fledged digital teammate. Imagine a teammate that works in the background, cross-references 5 different databases overnight, fixes all the errors, and just casually presents a summary of its actions when you log on with your morning coffee. That is the new reality.
But a non-stop digital workforce requires infrastructure, which leads us to Section 4, the hardware gold rush.
The financial implications of this are almost hard to comprehend. Try to picture this. In just a brief 6-week period around early 2026, $3.8 trillion in market capitalization was added to semiconductor companies in the S&P 500. $3.8 trillion! It is an absolute land grab for compute power right now. The richest tech giants on the planet are literally buying up every available piece of silicon just to support these new agentic models.
Because of this, we are witnessing astronomical, unprecedented stock growth. Memory and chip manufacturers have seen their valuations go through the roof. Intel hit a 26-year high, up 239%. SanDisk shot up by 558%. And Micron Technology? They soared a massive 770%. It's an insatiable demand for hardware. But what's really fascinating is understanding exactly what kind of hardware is driving the specific weight.
It all comes down to a concept called AI mass inference. See, for a long time, the massive bottleneck in AI was training the models, which relied heavily on those famous GPUs, graphics processing units. But now that we have autonomous agents running continuously around the clock, taking actions, and storing vast amounts of context memory, there is a sudden explosive demand for standard memory and central processing units, or CPUs. When an AI is thinking, planning, and acting nonstop 24/7, the physical constraints of our entire global hardware supply chain are pushed to their absolute limits.
So where is all this taking us? That brings us to our final part, Section 5, 2 possible AI futures. Looking at projections from the Stanford AI Index and various industry thought leaders, we are standing at a major crossroads. Maintaining strict neutrality here, the sources essentially outline 2 very different projected paths. On one hand, we have a highly pessimistic scenario. This envisions a world where autonomous agents cause severe socioeconomic disruption. Think mass unemployment, global protests, extreme geopolitical friction over chip supplies, and even the threat of malicious, unchecked AI systems causing digital havoc. But on the flip side, those exact same technologies could drive a highly optimistic scenario. In this version of the future, we see incredible synergies. We're talking a massive economic boom driven by AI productivity, life-saving scientific breakthroughs in hyper-personalized medicine, and physical robotic assistance seamlessly integrating into our daily lives to completely eliminate manual drudgery. The data makes one thing crystal clear. The technology itself is moving forward at an exponential rate. These models are only going to get better, faster, and smarter at reasoning, planning, and acting in our physical and digital worlds. So as we watch this great AI activation unfold before our very eyes, it leaves us with one incredibly vital, provocative question to ask ourselves. Through our investments, our regulations, and our everyday use of these tools, which future are we building? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this helped clear up the massive shifts happening right in front of us, and I will see you on the next one.